As you guys know, YouTube has recently canceled Fresh and Fit, not necessarily from the platform altogether, but removed them from the YouTube Partner Program, which essentially means the channel is demonetized, which essentially means that they can no longer make money off of YouTube. A lot of people in the space have credited this to a response video that Fresh and Fit made to Abba and Preach, along with a Rumble stream that Myron, co-host of Fresh and Fit, obviously partook in with Sneeko, another creator that has been deplatformed from YouTube. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at those videos, along with a couple of videos created by female creators in the space, essentially celebrating the demonetization of Fresh and Fit. And later on, we're going to get into the eviction of Fresh and Fit from the podcast studio and why that is taking place. So with that being said, let us get right into it.
People are not evolved. And so you're saying Preach is unevolved.
Just in case you guys didn't realize. Just in case they're making fun of black people, trying to make them look like monkeys.
Moral
you
high
fucking
ground.
fag.
That
trying to take the high road, trying to virtue signal. I knew your bitch ass was gonna do this, man.
I didn't think they were gonna do that.
If I saw your dumb ass in front of me, I'd hang you, motherfucker.
Bro, moral high ground.
Now, I can obviously say that it's not very good look for Myron to be sporting the KKK hat or KKK top, whatever you want to call that in this stream. But let's see where this stream goes. I'm watching it for the first time along with you guys, so let us carry on.
Like, in case you guys I can't believe how
Let me. That's the only thing they added besides.
They got nothing.
There's
a reason why they blocked me. They took their video down. These motherfuckers are pussies. Preach is crying right now, swinging from a monkey branch, eating a banana, playing some Donkey Kong. To make no money, I will go ahead and make the racist comments. I will go ahead and make fun of the way you monkeys look. I'll go ahead and make fun of the way you retards speak. I will roast you motherfuckers because I have no filter. Welcome to Rumble, bitches. Now, this isn't necessarily a good look for Myron, but we all know Myron to be a hysterical person. He's just very comical. So I don't know where he's going with this, but I can see where people are going to get offended by this. And he should also realize that people are going to get offended by this. He should know that all the streams on Rumble that are of him, Sneeko, and all these other people are going to make their way on YouTube. And YouTube is going to make a certain decision when it comes to whether or not the ad revenue that they gain from them is worth the backlash that comes with it.
Yeah, I bet Rumble is gonna contact Sneeko after this stream. And I also want to point out that the reason why we don't have as much freedom of speech on YouTube right now as we used to is because of people like this. It's because of social retards that do not know when to stop. This part of the stream was so bad, but even Zorko didn't want to be in the same frame with Myron. Zorko, the white guy from Albania that uses the N-word and calls himself a pedophile on stream, felt uncomfortable.
That does speak a lot when a guy like Zerka doesn't want to be in the stream. I mean, this guy Zerka genuinely doesn't give a fuck. But when he's trying to avoid a situation like this, it should probably send you some signs, Myron.
Felt like Myron was going too far. That's how bad this was.
These guys.
These niggas are doing everything in their power to keep this Albanian fuck out the video.
Zerka, they put a KKK hood over you.
I'm saying out of this video. This guy's unhinged, bro.
I'm on it. I know you ain't talking. You or whatever the fuck you are. You over here doing that white powder on your nose. You fucking weird. I am completely sober. I don't do no drugs. I just drink a little bit of Red Bull and a little bit of whiskey. But other than that, you a fucking pussy. Let's keep going, run. Oh yeah, I've been waiting 2 years for this one. I've been watching from the sidelines. I've been in the hyperbolic time chamber training. I'm ready.
Oh my God. Where did you get the hat?
I'm cooking.
You look really fucking racist, bro.
This is
Even if an Asian person.
Am I the #1 racist on the internet?
No one's ever done this, Byron. What are you doing?
I know you ain't talking, you Albanian fucking. Where the fuck is Albania on the map? I don't even know where your country is, bro. I don't even know.
Chuck.
What? Where are you? I can't see nothing.
I'm not a part of Fresh and Fit. I have my own channel. This guy is totally unhinged.
What do you mean? What do you mean I'm unhinged?
Call me the N-word.
Now, Myron isn't necessarily understanding how bad this makes him look, but let us carry on.
You are in there. Yeah, what the fuck? You're one of them European weird niggers.
Stop calling him a monkey. Stop that.
What? Calling who a monkey?
That Preach guy.
Donkey Kong? That guy. Bro, he looks like a monkey. You want to see the photo again?
Zorka even tries to help Myron by getting him to stop. And Myron doesn't listen.
Yes.
You're still being
KKK, bro. I want to chill, bro.
Eat some food.
Be normal,
Eat
bro.
some. No, he's staying. He's staying.
Why'd you call him? He accused you of calling him of making monkey noises. You said he monkey.
He does.
No,
he does.
He doesn't mean that.
Hold on, you Albanian fuck. I'm about to show y'all. He looks
Why
like
are
a
you
monkey
saying
right now.
that, bro?
Hold on, I'm gonna shot.
He does.
Hold on, he does look like a monkey. Come on, man. You tell me that don't look like a fucking monkey?
Chat,
come on.
Do you think he looks like Donkey Kong? Yes or no?
Fucking monkey.
Even one of Myron's fans.
Now, Myron, you ain't gotta go that far, man. We understand the point. It's like, yes, we're gonna find it funny, this, that, and the third, but just the certain terms that he's using that, you know, go back to, you guys know exactly what. People are gonna take that in the wrong way. So you can't get upset, particularly when people are upset about certain streams like this.
Donates to try to get him to stop. And he still doesn't listen. Everyone is telling this guy to stop. And he just does not realize where he's fucking up right now.
Okay, 20 from Dilbert. Myron, you are embarrassing yourself, destroying your credibility in real time with your real supporters. I'm out. Sneeko, check this guy.
Shut the fuck up, you fucking man. Hold on. Now I'm really about to go in on your bitch ass. See, here's the problem.
See, and I should say something. One of your true supporters donates to tell you to chill out. Like, Myron, chill out, man. Chill out, man. The joke is over.
You fucking newfound pussy motherfuckers that got no sense of humor. You motherfuckers are pussies.
Yeah, it's not that this guy is an autistic retard. It's that we are pussies and we have no sense of humor. I love Rumble. But after this whole segment ends, Myron actually does explain why he did this.
We don't fuck with him. He's a snake. Like, I'm not surprised that he did that fuck shit. Integrity, he claims to have integrity, but he doesn't at all. You know what I mean? So the only way that you can deal with these idiots is you can't out-logic them. You have to just clown them. That's what I figured out after everything, because they're going to always take things out of context. So you know what? You want to call me racist? Let me put this on and roast you motherfuckers. You are monkeys. That's how you got to go with them.
Ah, yes. If you can't beat someone with logic.
Myron, just sometimes the easiest way to beat somebody is the best response is no response. We've all heard that 1,000 times. You don't have to respond to these guys, especially when it's going to leave a stain on your image and essentially ruin your credibility.
Be a racist to them. And of course, Myron's right saying that what he did wasn't racist.
That's sit on the fence, but then when they don't know how to respond to you, they'll just say like, oh, you made monkey noises. You're a racist person.
Which, by the way,
it was retard noises to be exact, because I was calling Preach a retarded window licker. But after looking at that Donkey Kong photo, I can conclude that he's also a monkey.
Okay. All right.
Like, bro, I'm ready to end them. Like, they want to go here and say, you're a racist, Myron. Cool. The fucking Arab guy that's also black, that literally, like, I hit so many different check marks for the KKK. Y'all want to call me racist? Cool, you fucking fat. Now, let's fucking do it.
Hey, guys, when we speak, everyone...
Yeah, because as we all know, only white people are capable of being racist. You can find this segment in its entirety on Sneeko's most recent stream. The whole thing lasts like 44 minutes. It's really hard to watch, but if you wanna see it, go for it.
All right, well, that wasn't the best stream, Myron. That wasn't the best, that wasn't gonna get the best point across. Those chop-ups are obviously gonna make you look bad. But was that entirely enough to get you demonetized? Who knows? I'm not YouTube. Let us carry on to this next video. Right here. All right, and now this is this Bohemian gal. And she's basically essentially breaking down the same video, but more so getting into the aspects of Alba and Peach's response. Let us carry on.
I think some people just got anti-black sentiments and they just don't want to acknowledge it. Just because you don't want to acknowledge it doesn't mean you don't know it's there. It's like, you got a mess under the table. Just because you didn't look don't mean you don't know it's there.
What you saying?
You got a white dude coming on talking about spear chucking, like using every racist trope I'd ever heard from a white in regards to black people. Mm-hmm. You're out here making monkey noises about a black person. I mean, you could just drop the hard N-E-E-R on the N-word because it's the same.
And see, Myron, that just doesn't make you look good, my guy. Like, Myron's my guy, man, but this wasn't a good moment for him.
Might as well. Spirit checking, that's messed up.
Basically. And Abba's absolutely correct. I heard so many racist remarks made in that room that made me so uncomfortable. As a black person, typically you will hear people using the N-word, right? And you've gotten so desensitized to it, right? But to see it all on display the way it was on display in that room, it made me uncomfortable as a black person. It made me so incredibly uncomfortable. Let's listen.
See, these chop ups of mine are just absolutely terrible, man. I didn't actually have the time to. Well, I had the time, but I didn't take the time to actually watch this particular stream. So this is all new to me as well too. But Myron, come on, man! Don't put on the braids betraying locks and then make monkey noises and doing this, that, and the third, because it's just not gonna. It's gonna make you look bad. It's not. It's not as hysterical as maybe you want people to take it. You know how the world is today. This is not something that's going to benefit your image.
No, not respect to minorities. What the stop?
And then the whole Nazi thing. Come on, Myron. Come on, Myron. Come on, Myron. The space doesn't need this. It's hysterical, it is, but come on, man.
I want to get another right.
To see this man wearing a KKK hood over his head. I don't even know if he's aware that there are people who are still alive in the United States who were traumatized by the KKK, right? There are survivors, family members who are survivors of the KKK, all their antics. They've lost family members. Some of them are still alive in this country. The KKK is very robust, still around.
And she makes a valid point that there is still people that are alive that had to live throughout that today. So it's not necessarily going to be funny when it comes to people that had to actually endure the real thing. You know, like we can chop things up and make things hysterical, but it's not necessarily funny when it comes to people that had to actually go through that. So I can understand where she's coming from that aspect. Let us carry on.
And they thought it was funny to do this. Myron put up the Hitler's. I almost raised my hand to do it. Put up the Hitler sign. Okay, mine flew all. What do you think that does to the Jews? How do you think the Jewish people feel about that? He's hitting so many people in this crossfire. He doesn't even have an appreciation of. He doesn't know it. He doesn't understand it. He's clueless. That's why I agree with Preach.
Watching them.
And she's absolutely correct in the aspect of he's clueless. He's clueless on how many people that he truly is offending. I'm not saying that I'm offended. I mean, I find this ought to be hysterical, but at the same time, I can understand the aspects. I mean, the perspectives of the people that are offended that actually have to live throughout these things, that actually are still suffering from the trauma today. Not to sound like a liberal or anything, but nonetheless, it's a valid point.
Run around and do these kinds of poses for 30 minutes. I'm like, okay, I guess this is just how high value men act in the privacy of their home. Yes. When they're mad about something, they don't make business.
That is actually another point that I'm not too big of a fan of Alvin Preach. I don't watch too many of the videos, so I can't say I'm a fan or not. But he actually does make a good point when he says that right there.
Moves, they don't do things strategically. They just run around like monkeys. They make monkeys.
Like Myron, you're supposed to embody and represent the high value man of today. This is all that you preach, and this isn't necessarily, you're not necessarily representing characteristics of a high value man when you do inconsiderate things and gestures such as those.
That's a high value. That is a high value man. That's a high value. This guy's apparently now the new leader of the Red Pill. Yes. Okay, and this is what he's like. That's our value on camera. Imagine behind closed doors.
Right. So these guys on Fresh and Fit consider themselves to be high value men. I don't know how. I don't know what's high value about that. That was the most basic, disgusting display I'd ever seen in my life. And they're very short-sighted. That wasn't even a smart business move. YouTube is a platform. Sometimes people think that
was a very dumb business move. Very, very, very dumb business move.
An alternate universe, right? But we all exist in the same world, right? So after you've logged off of your camera and shut your production down, you still have to step out into the real world. And that's what you want to be known for? That's what you want people to remember you for? If this platform goes away tomorrow, like so many other platforms have in the past, you got to step back into the real world, right? This is what you're going to be remembered for. There's nothing high value about this.
I've known many great leaders. I don't think I've ever seen one act as embarrassing as him.
Bro, you are a
That's a rebuttal. You do contemporary dance, therefore you're gay. That's Abba does salsa, so that's it.
Again, using the word gay as a slur, a pejorative. Oh, you so gay that, come on. As if gay men aren't real men. You see how many people just keep getting hit?
They're males, but the definition of a man extends a little further than being male.
In the crossfire, you got your blacks, you got your Jews, you got your gays. To see Myron running around with this wig on, like, first of all, did he just have this wig at the ready? So you are too emotionally invested. You emotionally hate another dude. I mean, he could have primed it from Amazon. So there's that. I want you to listen to this part because Myron seemed to have been in his feelings. By the way, ABBA, for those of you who don't know, ABBA was on his podcast at one point, and he went back on his platform, and I guess he still had some things to say about, because he knows who he is. He said that an assistant had called him. ABBA, that is, says that one of Myron's assistants or somebody affiliated with him had called him to say that after he left the podcast, that Myron was making statements or pronouncements about him. I don't know if it's true or not, but I wouldn't doubt it just based on the behavior that I'm seeing here today. So, I mean, they're not friends, but I want you to listen to what Myron says next, because this was just funny to me.
I just want to know why you would have a great conversation. It's all great. And then you decide, let me go ahead and talk about this guy that opened his home to me. The reason why I flipped out the way that I did is because I take loyalty extremely seriously. I think you guys have known me now for well over 2 years. The reason why I flipped out is because I hate snakes.
All right, stop. Ain't your podcast in your house? Don't you film from your house like how I film from my house?
Let's skip over this part.
And he said, I have nowhere to go. They just melaging this guy right here. Sneeko, is that his name, or Freako? What's his name? According to a lot of people, he's not the
She know his name.
greatest guy out there, right? But I could tell that he was most uncomfortable at points. Like you could just see it on his face. Like if you read his body language, it's like this uncomfortable laughter. Like people were saying, oh, he's just as complicit, which yes, he is just as complicit, right? But when you in that fraternity, I suppose, and you with the bros, it's so hard to kind of break off from that. But I saw a glimmer.
And this goes back to men being able to hold each other accountable. Myron goes on to preach about how women don't hold each other accountable. And to an extent, he's actually absolutely correct. But with that being said, if you're going to preach that, you have to also live that. So Sneeko, in this situation, obviously knowing that Myron might have been a little bit off the rim, should have probably calmed him down or had a side talk with him maybe after the podcast, this, that, and the third. And I'm not here to say that he didn't, but that should have taken place.
Of hope,
just because it doesn't make Myron look good. It just doesn't make Myron look good, and it makes Sneeko look even worse because it's his platform. He's the one that's on Rumble now. Not to say Fresh and Fit aren't, but he's the one that's relying on Rumble now fully.
I saw a glimmer of hope. I could tell that he did not want to be involved in that. Even when Myron did the Hail Hitler sign, right, with his hand. What's his name? Sneeko kind of put his hand down, like, hey, don't be doing that on my channel. You know what I mean? Like, I basically get demonetized or so I could get in trouble. But I saw a glimmer of hope. I hope that he can just kind of just disassociate from this group. He's still young, but honestly, this group is imploding. And I don't understand how people are supporting this. Like, to me, you should never, ever have supporters into that real quick.
Sir, for what reason? For what reason? For what reason did you take my wig off? Because what made you think that was the good thing?
And there was no adult in this room. As I'm looking at it, there was no adult in the room to say, stop, this is going too far. They were so tight and they were so in their feelings that they just lashed out at these two men who, Abba and Preach, look pretty damn good right now. They didn't deserve this. In the room, thumping on his chest, parading like a gorilla, making monkey sounds, acting completely unhinged. Even bigger part of me that wants them to leave it up. Leave that casket open. Let the world see.
All right. Very, very, very interesting perspective. It's not too much that I can argue with that female about when it comes to her criticism of that particular stream. I mean, you guys tell it for yourselves. That doesn't necessarily represent Fresh and Fit and their values, but it does indeed make them look bad. And once again, the question is, does enough to get demonetized? I don't know. That's up for YouTube to decide. I'm not the one that runs the platform. Let's go on to this next video. Oftentimes, Myron, and another reason I believe Myron and Fresh and Fit have gotten the platform is because of the guest stars that they have on their channels, particularly the ones that have already been demonetized, not just demonetized, but they've had their channels removed from YouTube. So essentially, they should have understood that replatforming these people on YouTube after YouTube has already removed them, whether or not it was just, would essentially get their channel removed. I mean, that's just not rocket science.
Right? No, we don't believe you, bro.
How should you refer to blacks then? How should you refer to
You don't want to hear my second choice.
Oh, yeah.
It's a joke.
He's funny. You should actually do stand up sometime. Maybe it would have actually gone.
Maybe.
I think she's joking.
Okay. No.
I hope so.
Do it. No, I can't.
I'm putting it
That'll be implied.
Do it next so you can get banned again. Right.
You can say it.
Yeah. Say it. Come on, man. I want you to say it.
For real. I want to hear what you got.
You want me to say it?
Yes. Say it.
Is anyone going to hit me if I say it?
No. 2 hours. Come on, Nick. What you got?
All right, nigger.
Whoa. Not that he added the hard R to it though, but this does not make Fresh and Fit look good. This isn't what the channel is about. This isn't what you guys are supposed to represent or proclaim to represent. And the fact that you have some white guy on here and you have Myron along with 6 other bimbos just begging him to say the word. What that shows that, what do you actually represent? What do you actually stand for? I mean, there can't be a tolerance of absolutely everything, right? So this is another reason why probably Myron and Fit lost their monetization. I mean, when you're having panels of degeneracy, then it goes without being said, man. And then you have everybody celebrating after the fact that he said the word. Not a good look. Obviously, you see Shorty right here is just baffled. I mean, she didn't actually expect him to say it, but I guess he did. He seems to be the only base one on the podcast. The rest of the bimbos over here just celebrating and laughing at the fact. Although if he were to say the word in a different context or maybe even off of the panel, they probably wouldn't have the same reaction. They probably would take offense to it. So why does it change when the cameras are rolling?
Oh yeah,
like, why is this a segment in the panel? Why is this something that even had to take place? I'm pretty sure it had absolutely nothing to do with the conversation. And Nick Fuentes, he's an idiot for even saying that, because it's going to portray him in the light that he tries to constantly defend that he's not a part of a certain white supremacist racist group, and then goes on and say stuff like this. You can't be easily infiltrated by man. Let's just carry on. This is just beyond me. And then he goes on and says it again. Like, this is, and they're celebrating, they're laughing, it's giggles. Like, this is supposed to be something that's positive. That's something that's humorous. And I feel like none of these black women would have taken this as something that was humorous if the cameras weren't rolling and it was just in the context of a different conversation. So I don't understand what value this was supposed to add to the podcast. I don't understand how they were not supposed to, how Fresh and Fit don't understand they were putting a target on their back for YouTube to demonetize. I mean, I'm surprised they only got demonetized. I'm surprised their channel didn't get removed completely after having something like this take place. Not advocating that it should have, because obviously I'm for free speech, but is this necessarily free speech, hate speech? I don't know. Let us carry on. Then you got Fit and then you got Fresh just in the corner recording everything on his phone, laughing and knowing that this is going to be something that gives them an outrageous number of views, which it probably was. I mean, if that's the tactic behind it for monetary reasons, and I guess, but to what extent are you willing to go for revenue? I'm absolutely surprised none of the women on the podcast, all of them essentially being black, are just disgusted by what just took place here.
Yo, it is amazing to me how a word can get everybody so fucking mad, bro.
I mean, we all know words have certain effects, especially when there's certain stigmas around certain words. There's certain things that you should probably just avoid. And Myron, I suspect, is smart enough to know something like that.
Wait, hold on, yo. We asked for it.
We didn't ask for it. You guys asked for it. I definitely want to know what.
Right, Myron, don't preach on how men are leaders and this, that, and the third, and act like you didn't take a lead in that certain segment of the podcast. This isn't something that should have taken place. It's just absolutely disgusting, absolutely degenerate.
Definitely want to know what's on your top because you gonna definitely know what's on mine. Cracker.
Top one.
Okay.
You want to wife and kids in the picture?
We got.
Oh my goodness.
Hold on, we got up next.
Do you say that on your channel often?
Yeah.
Oh God.
No.
But how do you use it?
Free speech, baby. Okay,
You gotta be able to say it.
How do you use it though?
No, I agree in
Neutral.
free speech, so then you cannot hang out with him.
Damn.
Okay.
It was used. What?
No, free speech is important, so you know who not to hang out with.
It's a word.
Yeah, a word used to degrade us. But I feel like it's okay if I call you a cracker, right?
No, well, here's the difference. I'm not saying that you can't.
Difference.
Well, are you gonna listen?
Okay.
I'm not saying you can't utter the word, but that's how it is. I mean, there are words that I won't utter. Like I'll say GD instead of goddamn because I believe that's blasphemy. But I think it's foolish to say the N-word if you're talking about it in a neutral way. I think it's kind of juvenile. But I'm not talking about like, hey, N. I'm saying like, if you're going to refer to the word, you can utter the word. I don't think it makes you a bad person.
Why are you saying
uttering
N when
the
you
word.
just said the word? Say the word again.
Right. Don't try to do that, Nick. Don't try to backtrack from what you just said. Go ahead and say the word. You want to say the word? Go ahead and say the word. And Fresh and Fit are obviously giving you the platform to do so without no type of rebellion, without no type of anything to go against you. So go ahead and say the word, man. You're not going to get hit on this podcast. You see the females are already laughing and giggling about you saying the word. Go ahead and say it again.
In what context you're reading?
That's what I was like. How you saying it?
Huckleberry Finn book.
How you saying it?
We just talking about like casually.
Yeah, how you saying it?
Like I
Because you're
said,
saying it's neutral. Like how would you say it? Just say it.
He already did. I don't want to fucking hear it again.
Okay.
He said it twice.
Right.
We got it.
like I said, there's a big difference between people get canceled for uttering the word versus directing it at somebody in a hateful way.
Why do you look at her when you say that?
I'm looking at the group.
I mean, I don't think the word with the hard R at the end is ever used in a neutral way, but maybe I don't know.
You people are so sensitive. I'm being facetious. I'm being facetious.
For real.
You asked for it and gave it to you. I don't know what you
That right there was just not a representation of the type of content that we need. And I hate to say it because, I used to be a fan of Fresh and Fit. I like they've provided a lot of value. They've provided a lot of different perspectives, and they've had a lot of conversations that a lot of people are afraid to have. But when it comes to stuff like that, that was just completely unnecessary. It didn't need to take place. And Myron and Fresh being the host of the platform should not have allowed that to take place. But obviously they did. So when it comes to cancellation, this is something that they should have suspected was going to come, which actually they did suspect was going to come eventually. Let us carry on to the next video. Here we have, let me see where it is. Here we have, what is her name? Michelle McDonald. Obviously reacting to Fresh and Fit getting demonetized. And let's see where she goes about it.
Their channel is not doing very well because now they can't make money from all the things that they have to say. And we are going to look at that. So, Sloppy, you know what to do. Hit it.
Man, we got a very important announcement for you guys. It won't be the same, bro. Yeah. The channel has been kicked off the YouTube Partner Program.
Woo! Gotta pour some tea out for the girlies. Pretend I'm pouring it out. I don't want to pour it on my floor. I don't want to clean it. I know some of those men think that's what women love to do, but I don't want to do that. But we gotta pour some out. for the girlies because I know they're celebrating. At least there are. Are celebrating on TikTok. A lot of women are reposting this and they're having a good time in that comment section. And you know what? I am like honest Abe. I really can't tell a lie. As a content creator, I'm like, these guys give me great content. You know, like you can make content for days about them complaining that a woman won't make them a sandwich. But at the same time, I cannot tell a lie. And I would be lying if I said when I heard this, my nose didn't just unplug and I could breathe again. I felt pure happiness in my nose and in my heart. I don't know why, I just did. I don't even follow these type of things. It's not like I see it and I get triggered. It's more of like, they're annoying and haha, it's really funny to laugh at your downfall. Well, I'm not claiming to be like the best person. I'm a petty person.
Just keep it straight with
If you look right now, you can't even super chat or
you can't even super chat right now.
Well, that's what happens when YouTube takes you out of their partner program, Daddy Fid. Why are you acting like
oh shoot, you guys can't even send us money anymore.
like that's what this is. You literally cannot make any money on YouTube. Why are you playing stupid? Or are you just stupid? I thought that was like a woman thing.
Yep.
So this is the beginning of the end of this era.
We're working with YouTube to try to come to a middle ground and, you know, work together and figure this out.
Oh, I know many of us are not very religious. I'm not super religious, but I do know I have very religious ladies and menzies out there that are. So I would like you guys to maybe say a prayer for, you know what? Let's all join in. It doesn't hurt to pray. Everyone, join hand and let me speak it through you. If there's a sky daddy looking upon us from above.
She is absolutely hysterical. This is actually funny to watch. I'm not saying that she's right or wrong, but she's actually pretty funny. I'm pretty sure a lot of females in the space have this adverse reaction due to, you know, Fresh and Fit holding women accountable, especially, not even especially, but Fresh and Fit holding women accountable, especially regarding to how they let us carry on. I don't even want to say that.
Please let these men keep struggling and have to sell their microphones to buy groceries so they can
she hating.
Make their own sandwiches in Jesus' name. Kind of whatever those noises I just said, that's what it is.
We don't know the specific reason.
Did you see those little eye shifties? Like we have no clue why. We don't know. They can't even look straight. They have to look off into the distance when they say those things. Like, you know why. So I saw this guy the other day on TikTok.
Great.
Those will always deserve to be for rejecting nice guys like me.
And you can put two and two together of what that means. But then it got X'd off the TikTok and he makes another post. He's like, I don't know what I did wrong. Yes, you did. You
in your DMs and say, yo, you saved my life. Yo, you sent me a picture of your credit score. Yo, my girl is making sandwiches now, or whatever it is, right?
Hey, Myron's absolutely hilarious. But I mean, I can't say that they didn't change a lot of guys' lives. They probably did have a beneficial effect on a lot of men's lives. It took them into the quote unquote red pill and express their ideologies when it comes to relationships and women. I'm not saying that their ideologies are right or wrong, but it seems like a lot of people find them to have been beneficial to them. So it's not to say that that Fresh and Fit didn't do any good. It's not to say that they didn't, right? But when the we know the media is going to focus on the bad and allow it to overshadow the good. You have to be able to minimize the bad.
See, told you. He even had that weird little smirk because he knows that sandwich fucking joke is so early 2000, and it's such an easy joke that those type of men that watch this kind of
See, now stuff like that, the sandwich joke, I don't typically take that to be too offensive. I mean, it's funny, man. Like it's funny, man. Like every nigga wants somebody to make him a sandwich. Like it's just hysterical. So when it comes to, I don't think they necessarily even got demonetized because of their views on male and female dynamics and the role that a woman should play in a relationship. I think it's more so, particularly for that Abba and Peach stream and the stuff with Nick Fuentes and some of the stuff with Sneeko. Not saying that Sneeko said or did anything wrong, but it's the fact that YouTube already decided they didn't want them on the platform, and Myron decided to use, Fresh and Fit decided to use their platform to re-platform somebody that YouTube did not want on the platform. I mean, are they surprised that they got demonetized? I don't know. Let us carry on.
content would be like, he said make the sandwich thing.
Bus.
Commercials.
You know, okay, let's just keep playing it.
We need you guys to support us.
Wherever we go. Fresh and Fit, you guys saved my life. Yo, you changed my entire life. I'm now happy because I was so depressed.
They are buttering that bread right now. They know their audience is so fucking weak, so easily manipulated. We helped you guys with free content, so now it's time for you to help us by paying money. It's actually, like, does anybody else get, like, it's pitiful to watch this, right? Like, very pitiful to watch these men beg for money from teenagers. In fact, I mean, I know my nose is really stuck. I'd say alpha life is very, very lonely. So, I mean, I guess they can go walk around in the woods naked and barefooted like the lone wolves they are.
I didn't want to fucking have to say that shit. I really don't want to have to admit that. Dude.
Because it's beta, right? Because you're now beta. That's the answer. It's like beta shit. Like you're vulnerable for speaking to a microphone.
I'd be lying to you guys if I didn't say I didn't love doing this. I left a job that I truly loved to do this, right? Because I shouldn't be admitting this, but saving children, right? That was great, but saving you guys is better.
Oh no, he.
Myron. Okay.
Fucking did he do that? Did he do it? He just did the long pause, the stuttering over the words a bit, even the whole wiggle finger, and said,
I loved what I used to do, but I quit all of that for you.
Bitch, please. You quit all of that because you got a following on YouTube, which is very hard to do. But once you're getting around 100,000 views, even 50,000 views, you're racking in quite a bit of money, and they got a lot of views. Don't play this manipulation shit. He quit. Forget the facts that he ran off camera, literally like an anime girl. You, sir, are the beta bitches that you are talking about. I hope you.
Well, that's enough of that video. That didn't seem to give too much perspective. It's just essentially a video of her celebrating that they got demonetized, which isn't necessarily a good or bad thing. That's just her own prerogative. Let's go on to this last video. Fresh and Fit actually spoke on how they're not getting essentially evicted, but the people that the place that they hold this panel at essentially doesn't want them to live there anymore because of the controversy around them. And I mean, if you're renting out a space to some people to live in and you constantly have random people coming in and out on a weekly basis and almost day-to-day basis and this, that, and the third, and all this extra noise and all the drama that comes with running a popular podcast, it might not be the best for the people that own the building to have to deal with all of these things. I mean, there's been multiple times where random fans, or not even necessarily fans, people that don't like Fresh and Fit, have come up to the building and tried to start conflict with Myron, essentially. And even when Andrew Tate came onto the podcast, there was somebody that came on there trying to grab the attention or start a conflict with Andrew Tate. So that's not something necessarily that's good for a landlord or somebody that's renting a space out to you. They want as little controversy as possible because, I mean, they're going to get their money regardless. Somebody's going to rent the space out regardless. So I can understand where that comes in, but let's go ahead and take a look at this video. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at this video. Boom. Here we go.
I'm seeing this with Myron. Now, he's a guy in Fresh and Fit. These are guys that they hold women accountable for everything. They make millions of dollars doing that. Holding women accountable. They have done, modern women things. Women do this, women do that. But now that they got them demonetized, they're putting the blame on everybody else. Now, listen, they're also about to get evicted from their current apartment, in which they're going to do, they do their studio. Now, I want to play this clip of Myron again, acting like a little 304, acting like he never did anything wrong. And then we're gonna return back.
Oh man, I'm just gonna say it, guys. We're getting attacked on all angles. I've been like, whether it's the press writing articles on us, videos getting taken down that other channels are not getting taken down, and it's the same exact content or whatever it may be. Rumble getting hit, right, for free speech, video like just get strikes, whatever it may be. Guys, it's gotten to the point now where even where we shoot the location doesn't want us to stay here.
Yeah.
I didn't want to have to say that shit. I really didn't want to have to admit that. I wanted to just move the studio, surprise you guys. Yo, new studio. It's lit, right? But dude, there is a matrix, man. Like, I mean, we've talked about this with Andrew at length. Like, people don't want you guys to get this message, dude.
Even Rumble's under attack too,
bro.
From everybody.
Yeah.
So guys, there you have it, right? That's him pretty much saying, listen, I have no idea what's going on. Even the guy that owns the apartment wants to kick us out. People are coming at us at every turn, at every hand. I just don't know why, guys.
And again, I don't necessarily think that the landlords or whoever owns the building necessarily wants to kick him out due to the controversy online, but I think more so for what it brings to the building. I mean, like I said, all these random people showing up on a day-to-day basis that don't live there, that are getting to see what other people have, that are getting to see other people that do live there, that are probably high-profile people, essentially knowing that the building in Miami is very expensive. It's probably only very fortunate people that reside there, but that's nonetheless.
Are you sick of having issues with your webinars, wasting tons of time on troubleshooting with attendees?
I don't understand why. It's just the whole world is against me. Really? Is that the case, Myron? Well, I want to prove something to you guys, okay? If you were a landlord, you opened your house to people like Fresh and Fit. What would you do if you were watching them and you saw them on the internet and they had shows like this? Play that clip.
Clean this. Clean that. Clean that.
No, we will respectfully. We will respectfully. That's not fair, my
You get off the show.
No, Kay.
All right, get out of the show.
Kay.
You can leave. Oh, she's
Kay,
crazy now.
get back on. Kay.
All right, she got it. Look at this.
Kay, get back
This is
on,
excellent
bitch.
content right now. It is.
Kay, get back on.
Yeah. Okay.
Kay, get back on. Get back on.
No,
bitch.
she's leaving. She's out.
I don't care.
She's
Dude,
out.
I live in the
She's
same
out.
apartment. You're
All right,
not
cool.
lit.
Okay.
You rent this place. You don't
Yes, I
own
do.
any property. They're
Yep.
not real
Actually, I own a lot of properties, but okay.
He owns a lot of properties.
I own a lot of properties, but
Fresh
okay.
does. I don't know about this fit dude because he's really not even that fit. He's like, actually.
All right, you gotta go now.
Did people make fun of you in high school?
Now you gotta go.
Because that's what I feel like.
All right,
Did
you gotta-
get
now you
made
gotta
fun of
go.
In high school?
All right, this is
Because
comedy right now.
All right, Shorty's just rambling. I don't know why this was a hot take. Why is this in the video?
Yeah, girls make
Yeah,
fun of me in high
no.
school.
You gotta get off the show now.
I've been studying you. I'm ready for your ass. I just said I spent $700 on school shopping. Okay. No one helped me with that. So how are you going to say that you're going to hit my kid?
Here's the thing. I'm not your husband. Don't raise your voice at me and don't
First of
swear
all,
me like that
I'm
again.
listening. I'm making
Don't do
eye
that
contact
again.
with him. I'm talking to him.
I don't care. You're on the podcast and nobody's swearing at
But
you.
he has
Nobody's
absolutely
yelling.
no problem,
Whatever.
and I'm talking to him. Me and him are making eye contact. He's
I don't-
shaking his head in
I-
agreement,
I-
and you have a
here's the thing.
problem.
I do have a problem. You're not going to disrespect my host. Period.
He doesn't feel
Relax.
disrespected.
I don't give a. What
Do you
what
feel
you think?
disrespected?
Listen,
I want to know, do you feel disrespected?
Right now, you're raising your voice, and it's kind of like, yo, why? I'm talking to you nice, calm. I didn't shut at you one time.
You was just shaking your head and agreeing at me until he said something.
I'm trying to be nice to you here, okay?
Yeah, he's nice.
So it's like, I get what you're saying. Look, you go through a lot. But on the platform, just keep it chill, all right? Here we go.
Don't swear at him again. That's going to be the first and last time I tell you.
Everybody's been swearing the whole time,
but here's the thing. You're swearing at him, trying to...
Okay, I don't know what this necessarily has to do with them getting evicted. This is just, I guess, a hot part of the panel, but I don't know what this necessarily has to do with them getting evicted. Let me let the video finish.
Besides, you're trying to come up aggressive, whatever. Yo, this ain't for debate, bro. Whose show are you on?
Honestly, and your show.
Okay,
I will get the out of here. It's giving you ain't get you was 20 something years old.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
It was actually 18. You should watch the show and figure it out. But anyway, go ahead.
18.
You look like a clown.
Who looks like a clown?
You. Get out of here.
I look better than any been with. Look at you. Look at you. You run a show on literally.
You look
run
wild
a
right
show,
now with 13,000 people watching.
I don't give a You run a show debating about and with women. What does that say about you?
Like a get out of here.
I'm a clown.
Yes, you are. You look wild right now.
You'll do what? Now
You'll do
what?
Now, guys, I want you to see that. Have you seen that? I know you have. I've seen it too, right? Now, just think about it. You own that apartment, or you manage that apartment. You see different people coming in the house every day and night. Okay? You see it. It's clear you see it all the time. You see it every day and night. There are women drinking. Okay? There are fights that can happen at any given time. Again,
okay, I see where he's coming from when he gives those clips. It's just a potential for conflict, and that, you know, obviously women are threatening to have this and then this and that have done to the apartment, and sending people this to do this or do that. I can understand that.
Don't take my word for it, because you're there. You're watching this. All right? Does it matter that they're paying the rent? Listen to what I'm talking about. Yet you see these particular buffoons behaving like clowns every day in your house. You're watching this. Girls threatening to shoot up the place.
Right, and that can obviously affect the person that owns the building. So I can understand that. I can see that he was just trying to represent that there's a certain level of violence that can result. I mean, there's a certain level of conflict that can result in violence, which the landlord would essentially have to deal with the back end of.
Yet the whole world is against them. Yet they're the ones that brought that podcast equipment into the place. They don't have enough respect for the place to not even, let's say, for example, to even have a civil discussion. You're putting liquor in that with these girls so you can disrespect them, hopefully get them to get kicked out, all for some super chats. And now the guy who clearly is embarrassed that he's rented his place to you because you never told him that, hey, you know what? We had no idea, you know, hey, we're going to start this podcast. And
that's not necessarily the conversation they have to have with the landlord, but it is he is going to have to deal with the effects of the
we're going to disrespect women and kick them out. You never said that. He wasn't looking for that. He had no idea that was your intention, but that's what you did. So now that the guy is, you know, hey, we want to put you guys out of here because that's not what we agreed upon. You're trying to make your fan base feel sorry for you as if the whole world is against you. But if anybody who clearly owns a piece of property and they have all of that activity coming in and coming out there, they don't want to be associated with somebody like you. Nobody wants to rent their apartment to a podcaster. I can tell you that right now. No, they don't. You think that somebody's stupid, and your fans are dumb if they believe that. To yourself. Holding women accountable for everything, blaming yourselves for nothing. What a joke.
That is a good point. I mean, there's a certain level of accountability that you do have to hold upon yourself. And I believe that all the problems that in modern day with women are the faults of us men, because I mean, we're the leaders, correct? We're the ones that let them fall so far astray, and we're the ones that are it's the lonely ass niggas that are paying for the OnlyFans and doing this, that, and the third, and causing women to the women today are just a response to the men today. So I can't say it's not necessarily all our fault. And I'm not going to say that Myron and Fresh don't hold men accountable, because they do, but not to the extent that they do with women, of course.
These are the same guys that hold women to task every single day. This ain't one of their problems. Okay, there are ways to do things. There's stuff that I see women doing all the time that is it makes no sense. I'm not gonna go ever make a podcast and try to roast them and kick them out to get some extra money. That's not what I'm gonna do.
All right, enough of that. Well, long story short, should Fresh and Fit have been demonetized? I'm gonna go ahead and say, when it comes to the message behind men, women, and intersexual dynamics, not necessarily. But when it comes to platforming people that have been deplatformed, whether right or wrong, I guess YouTube has a degree of reason to demonetize them or even deplatform them when it comes to the racial slurs and all the racist jokes and all those narratives. Excuse me, but I can see where they would want to put an end to that type of thing. But let's see where Fresh and Fit go next. Let's see what they do about this. Let's see how they bounce back. And I'm hoping that they do bounce back. I mean, recently they haven't represented themselves in the best manner, but there's a bounce back for everybody. Hopefully they can bounce back and get back to the original prerogative of the channel, the original high value, uplifting content that they used to create, and maybe they can avoid the racial slurs and this, that, and the third from here on out. It's your boy, King Katumwa.